Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field, we begin our 15th year of covering East Brunswick sports on Channel 8. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder, being joined, as always, by Phil Hill, my esteemed colleague. And Phil, tonight it's East Brunswick hosting Edison in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. Edison is the one team that East Brunswick beat last year, and it was the only team.
That was the only team East Brunswick beat last year. Of course, the Bears coming off a 1-8 season. Edison doing a better job than the previous year. They had a 3-6 record last year. But Edison is coming off a thumping by Serval, 49-0. And I don't know if that's the real measure of anything. Serval defending Group 3 state champions. They have an awful lot of talent, and it's very early. I spoke to Coach Tom Gargiulo, and he says the kids were down a little bit the first couple of days of practice, but then they sort of picked it up. He feels that if they're going to play with East Brunswick, what they have to do is that they have to control the ball. They can't allow turnovers, which they did an awful lot last week. And he feels that his guys are pretty much ready to play the Bears, though.
Okay, and on East Brunswick's side, of course, you have to start with the senior quarterback, Ryan Cosentino, 6'3", about 210, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit about what you see in Ryan's development in his senior year and also the cast that surrounds him.
Well, I tell you, I've watched all three scrimmages. Hapatkong, they went up there, the big farm boys, almost like Phillipsburg of old. And East Brunswick did themselves well, considering they were overmatched on the line. Costantino, I thought, had a very fine game there. They came down here to a tri-scrimmage against Hillsborough and Immaculata, and once again, East Brunswick handled themselves very well. And then they had their last scrimmage against West New York of New Jersey, and they thoroughly thumped West New York. So they've had some bright moments, and then some other moments. I think depth is going to be a problem for the Bears. Any team that the Bears play, they're probably going to be overmatched. Not a terribly large offensive or defensive line, but they're aggressive and quick young people.
Well, obviously, East Brunswick opened up against Bridgewater, and it was a loss. I don't remember what the score was.
It was 23-7.
Okay, what did you see in that game?
I saw a gutty performance by the Bears. I mean, the way Bridgewater came out, you would think that they were going to blow the Bears away. However, the Bears stuck around, and with about 4 minutes to go, had a chance to really win the game, believe it or not. And, of course, you read about it, the 90-something-yard interception, which turned the game around altogether. But these guys didn't give up. And I think, we talked about last year's team. Last year's team is last year's team. This is a different team here. They have 35 juniors, and a lot of these guys like to hit, and they like to play.
Okay. Well, we're going to begin this evening's action with Edison, the team that East Brunswick will open up against with at home. It is a new season in more ways than one because there is a new playoff system in place. And so it gives new life to a team that thought it was out of the playoff contention after maybe 1 or 2 losses. But we'll talk more about that. Right now we're going to take a break. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. All right, we are back at J. Doyle Field for this evening's opening season game. For the home field, that is. You see the captains for the respective Edison and East Brunswick. That is Cosentino, number 15, along with Brad Pleasant, number 20. And they're still talking about a few things.
And for Edison, you have Bachorik, number 74, Bob Brownlee, the quarterback, and Will Hawthorne, running back, as the captains. And of course, Brownlee and Costantino have a lot in common. Probably 2 of the better pitchers, arms in all of the state of New Jersey.
Absolutely.
Brownlee, both all-county pitchers, and friends, and good friends as well.
We'll have a little time to talk about this, Phil. But there was a good article in the News Tribune about Home News Tribune about Costantino and the options that he has. He expresses an interest in all football and baseball, but probably baseball is going to be a sport. What do you think?
I think his best years are ahead of him in football-wise.
Okay.
And, he's a great baseball player, but I can see him playing on a big-time program with a lot of good talent around him.
Well, as we talked about, he does have an extremely strong arm. very accomplished. I don't think there's any question about that. He can get the ball to the receivers. The question is, can the receivers get open, to receive the pass? And that's going to be the question for East Brunswick.
We'll be watching. I think the Bears are going to receive, Jimmy.
Okay.
For the opening kickoff. And, of course, gone from Edison is Dan Kralich, just a super punter, kicker, everything. Actually,
him.
Dan didn't play last year. He was injured at this time.
Right.
But I think he's gone on.
Of course, not too long ago, Edison had one of the premier programs in Central Jersey. Rashad Simmons, remember him, the linebacker?
Oh, they had great ones.
Yeah, tremendous individuals. Okay.
I'm wrong, of course, on the kickoff. Looks like Edison is going to receive.
Right, and who is that kicking off?
Well, you got a kid named Justin Hill.
Okay.
Justin kicking off because the first team kicker, Christian Azzo, is out with a leg injury. So Justin, who's injured himself, will be doing the kicking today.
Okay, and for you that do not know, that is Phil's son, and missed all of last year due to a knee injury. He's bounced back, still recovering from an ankle injury that is going to limit his availability, but we'll just see how the evening goes. Nice kickoff, and that is gathered in by Hawthorne, who goes down. A little slippery there. We'll have to watch. And Edison will begin. It appears, on its own 25-yard line.
I think Teddy Nemec in on that tackle there.
Okay. So it is 1st and 10 for Edison on the 25 of East Brunswick. We'll try to get the defensive sets for you.
And I can tell you, Edison's not going to do anything fancy. I'm told they're a team that likes to run right at you. So I'll tell you, the linebackers, Batwash and Zukas, are going to have their hands full. They got to key on that fullback and stop that middle run.
Okay, and also they're going to need some help from that line. The linebackers can't do it all. Okay, Brownlee will call signals for Edison. And the give-off is to Hawthorne, who gets about 4 yards on the play.
And there's a flag. There's some mouthing going on. Edison player apparently said some words, right? The official standing right there, threw the flag for an early unsportsmanlike penalty.
And if that is so, that'll bring Edison back 15 yards from that point.
And I'll tell you, if that is the call, Jim, if you're Coach Tom Gargiulo, you really got to be biting your lip. I mean, you just made a nice run, and that's the call, unsportsmanlike penalty.
Wow. And I don't think that the referees are going to take too much of that type of thing this year. Apparently there's a renewed emphasis on that.
Well, going back to the point, the young player picked up 4 or 5 yards, and to be penalized, we end up actually losing yardage, really hurts, Jim.
And not only that, Phil, but they lose the down because that occurred after the play was over. So it is second, a net loss of 10 yards, making it 2nd and 20. Ball is on the 15-yard line. Brownlee at quarterback. Will go back to pass. He heaves it downfield. Long pass, and open is number 85.
I'll tell you.
Who gathers it in.
I'll tell you, he was by himself, Jim, and that's Jerry
Lithgow.
And I'll tell you, if he was clearly open, Jim, behind the East Brunswick defenders.
Right, and that's what East Brunswick can't allow.
If he could have stayed on his feet, he probably could have taken it all away.
So they erased that penalty and gained more than that, bringing the ball down to East Brunswick's 42-yard line, a gain of 46 yards on the play. And Edison has a first down in East Brunswick's territory.
Watch for Mike Allen, the fullback here.
Hawthorne again up the middle, good yardage on that play.
Mike Allen leading on the block there, and Hawthorne following right behind him, Jim, and he picked up about 8 yards.
Mike Allen, is that name familiar or what?
They're not the same.
Not the same?
Same family. Might be the same family, different kid.
Okay, well, we know that. All right. Hawthorne got 7 yards on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 3. Hawthorne again has room, gets to the outside, and Pleasant makes a saving tackle there.
I'll tell you, a touchdown saving tackle right there.
Still in all, Edison advances the ball to the 9-yard line, and they have a first and goal.
I'll tell you, they've done nothing but run Will Hawthorne, and this kid has some moves, Jim, and some speed there. Fortunately, Brad Present has some speed himself, able to catch him before he can take it in.
So the Eagles advance the ball smartly down the field, and they have a first down and goal on the 9-yard line. That is Hawthorne again, and he rumbles his way down to the 1-yard line.
I'll tell you, just amazing, Jim. They have run no one but Hawthorne.
And it looks like number 33 for East Brunswick on the tackle, and that is Raheem.
Raheem.
Second and goal, ball is inside the 1-yard line, so they can punch it over from here. And based on what we've seen so far, that should not be a problem.
And this should be the first time they use a backup. Well, they might give it to Hawthorne.
Brownlee, the quarterback for Edison, gives to Hawthorne again, who plunges in to the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Edison, and they take a 6-0 lead.
I'll tell you, Jim, if you're Coach Tom Gargiulo, you got to be feeling awfully good right now. Despite a unsportsmanlike penalty, they took the ball right down the field, using one back, one big pass by Brownlee, but everything else was Will Hawthorne.
And they did it effortlessly.
That's Majora kicking.
Score coming with 9:27 left to go in the first period. This is the try for extra point, and that kick is good by number 74, the kicker, Ed Bashiak, and Edison takes a 7-0 lead. So you got to be concerned if you're East Brunswick, Phil. That was quite a drive there.
Well, you got to be concerned. I said at the top of the game, Jimmy, that you couldn't tell a whole lot by the thumping that Edison took from Serval. Serval is one of the premier teams, has an awful lot of talent. Edison was unfortunate to catch them early. Tom Gargiulo said just a lot of turnovers hurt them, and that they had to hold on to the ball today. They certainly held on to the ball in this drive.
All right, and another thing evident there was the size difference. As you stated in the beginning of the game, Phil, Edison is clearly big on the line.
Well, as I saw all three scrimmages for the Bears, and nobody moved the ball on the Bears like that. Neither did Bridgewater.
All right. Deep for the Bears. Our number 22, that's Chris Hurley, and number 20 is Pleasant. Those are the feature backs in East Brunswick's offense. We should see a lot of them. And kicking off, can't quite make his number. It's in the hands of Pleasant, who takes it to the middle of the field. They try to form a wedge, and he almost busts out and advances the ball to the 33-yard line. That is where East Brunswick will begin.
Okay, and a nice tackle by number 40 for the Eagles, and that was Sal Lagrasso.
Okay. Costantino, the quarterback, number 15.
And it will be important that the Bears establish something right away, Jim.
Okay. That is Zukas, your center. That's Zukas. Pitch to Pleasant, going to the right side, and he is hammered.
And who else?
By Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
And that turns out to be a loss.
I'll tell you, Hawthorne coming up from his cornerback spot, I believe.
And that is one inspired football player now. Yeah, he really covered his turf well. We are going to call that a loss of 3, bringing up a 2nd and 13. And East Brunswick not likely to test the middle of that Edison line because they are clearly bigger. This is Costantino, hands it to the middle though. No, he has it himself. He's to the outside. And
I'll tell you,
it's excellent yardage. And we're going to see a lot of that, Phil.
Just a fine run by Costantino, and
I thought he gave the ball to the middle to Hurley, but pulled it out of the belly and just took it himself and brings it all the way to the 48-yard line. That is about a 22-yard gain.
And Lee Moskowitz making a big tackle for the Edison Eagles.
So So East Brunswick with its first down of the evening. Costantino again. Keeps it again. And gets a few yards on the play.
I'll tell you, Costantino, awful lot of ability. We know about his strong arm, Jim. The young man can run also. I don't know if we want to run him a whole lot, though. Well, I was just about to say their backup quarterback is injured, and I see him come running on the field.
Hornline?
Justin Hornline, number 8. So
right.
Apparently he's okay.
And they would be using him probably as a wide receiver.
Right.
He is going to be the lone receiver. East Brunswick going to wishbone. 2nd and 7 on this play. Costantino gives to Pleasant, bounces off one tackle, gets good yardage.
I'll tell you, a fine run by Brad Pleasant and some good blocking by their offensive line on that left side.
Got a 4-yard gain. And if we can get those offensive linemen, I'd like to mention that. That'll bring up a 3rd and let's call it 3.
Okay, Hornline out and Rob King in.
All right, we'll be watching those. This is a tough offense to cover for any opponent. Ball on the 42-yard line for the Bears. This is their initial possession. Costantino gets a pitch to number 22. That was Hurley.
And Hurley is slammed out of bounds close to the first.
Let's see. I don't think he made it, Phil.
Close.
He's short by about 2 yards. And it will bring up a 4th down and 2. East Brunswick, I imagine, is going to go for it.
You see Costantino waving his hand saying, let's go for it. It's early in the game, and they have been moving the ball, and they are going to go for it. Of course, Costantino is the punter as well, Jim.
Right, and then the ball is located. They're going to call a timeout.
They want to talk about it.
Right. Well, the ball is located on the far hash mark, which means that they have a lot of room to maneuver on this side of the field.
A lot of room to maneuver. 2 points, Jim. It is early in the game. They have shown the ability to move the ball. Of course, if they don't get it, they're going to give Edison pretty good field position. But the way the Bears have been moving, you got to believe that they're going to go for it.
All right. The score of last year's game was 28-13. East Brunswick beating Edison over in Edison, and that was the only victory of the year for what was arguably the toughest year in Marcus Borden's history as being a coach in East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, I'm trying to figure out what they might do here, Jim. Costantino has been running well himself. Of course, with the option, he has the chance certainly to put it in the fullback's belly there and run to the outside. If he sees something, keep it himself. If not, he'll pitch. I have a feeling he might keep it himself, Jim.
That seems to be the case. That's where they've had the most success. But then again, you got to believe that Edison is looking for Costantino. Hawthorne, we're watching him already, is going up against, it looks like Hornline. Pitch up the middle, and
I'll tell you, the fullback.
They hit it. I don't think they got it.
I think it's close.
No, they tried to surprise him.
It's awfully close.
I think they're short, Phil.
That was John Mullane on the run there, a good hard run by John.
Nonetheless, they come up short on that, and Edison will take over on their own 39-yard line. And Edison is leading 7-0. They scored it, well, actually just 2.5 minutes into the game, jumped out to a 7-0 lead. It is now 6:15 left to go in the first period.
Okay, of course, the name of the game right now is Stop Mr. Hawthorne.
They have to do that. Bob Brownlee, the quarterback, gives to Hawthorne, who makes a nice move to the outside.
I'll tell you.
And you're right, Phil. They got to do something about him.
He's the juker, man. Just great juke moves there. One step here, and then he stepped inside.
And I think what really helps him is the surge from that Edison offensive
The surge
line.
from the Edison line, and Mike Allen, the fullback's doing a good job also.
A gain of 6 on the play, making it 2nd and 4. And Brownlee really only throwing one pass, needing to anyway. Gives to who? You know who.
I'll tell you, it's just amazing. I don't think he is their workhorse. I thought Mike Allen would be their workhorse, but Hawthorne clearly is the workhorse. And I don't remember a game where we've had one back just, I guess Gargiulo's thought is we're going to run Hawthorne until they show they can stop them.
Will Hawthorne is a 5'11", 170-pound senior. Looks a little bigger than that, but nonetheless, he gets the yards. So a first down for the Eagles. They are in East Brunswick territory once again on the 46-yard line. Finally, Allen gets the ball and gets perhaps 2 or 3 on it.
I'll tell you, some fine gang tackling there. Bazero Rahim, one of these leading the pack right there.
Right. Gain of just 2. That's about the shortest gain Edison has had all night. And it'll bring up, well, we'll give it a 3-yard gain on that.
And I'll tell you, Rahim hasn't played football since the 8th grade, so to see him leading the pack there bids well for the Bears.
Looks like Brownlee's going to keep it himself. Sheds 1 tackle and finally driven down.
I'll tell you, big, strong Brownlee himself, about 220 pounds.
Hurley was the one that brought him down on that, but not after Brownlee picked himself up about 5 yards on the play, bringing up a 3rd down and 4.
I'll tell you, it looks very much like Costantino. It has the strong arm. Costantino appears to run a little bit better than Brownlee. Of course, we've only seen one run, though, Jim.
Phil, how strange it must be to see a quarterback in as linebacker on defense.
Well, he's really like a Nebraska linebacker, a stand-up defensive end.
Okay.
But you're right.
They need him in there, however. Brownlee gives to Allen on the right side. He's got a lot of room. Breaks a tackle. Pleasant throws his body in front of him.
And I'll tell you, the fine mixture for Edison, what you have is the mercurial hipped Hawthorne on one hand, and on the other hand, a bruising fullback like Allen on the other hand. And right now, the Eagles are taking it to the Bears.
Allen listed at 5'8", 220 pounds. He is a senior, and he is definitely a bruiser. So Edison advances the ball to the, let's call it the 14-yard line, where they have yet another first down, and they just have not been stopped. Brownlee gives it to Hawthorne, up the middle, brings the ball down into about the 8-yard line.
And you're right, Edison doing a fine job with their offensive line. They, as I said, the Bears are going to be overmatched weight-wise against just about any team they play. They make it up for it in aggressiveness, but right now the Eagles taking it to them.
Gain of 6 on the play, 2nd and 4. Ball is inside the 10-yard line of East Brunswick. 7-0 is the score. Allen, again, he has shown a great ability to shed tackles.
Wow, he's just a strong bull-like runner there. You're right. Thought he would be tackled for a loss there, but
I saw Chris Corsali have him in his grasp, and then Allen just simply shed him. Still in all, they don't call any gain on that, so that makes it 3rd down and 4.
might see a pass here, Jim.
Brownlee takes it himself. That might have been a busted play,
busted
Phil.
play, apparently.
Yeah.
He did go back to hand off the ball and then took it in the line himself.
And we have a field goal coming up, perhaps. I see number 8 carrying a tee on. That's Mike Tambini. And it looks like he is actually the holder. So number 74, Pachoric will be the kicker. He kicked the extra point, and he will be trying a 27-yarder, and it is through, and that will make the score 10-0 for Edison. So they still get points.
They still get points, and that's the most important thing if you're Tom Gargiulo. And again, Edison's got to be feeling awfully good right now. Scored no points last week, and came out with 1:49 left in the first quarter, and they have 10 points on the board.
And as Phil said, that score comes with 1:49 left to go in the first quarter. Edison successful on both of its possessions, scoring first a touchdown and now a field goal to make the score 10-0.
And I can tell you, the Bears got to be a little shocked, right? I don't think they expected anything like this.
Well, when you come up against an opponent that loses 49-0 the previous week, I mean, it has to beg questions about, what is the quality of that team that won 49-0 after looking at Edison.
But a few mistakes here and there can create situations like that.
I guess. Edison will kick off again. Hurley and Pleasant deep for East Brunswick. And it's an onside kick.
Didn't go 10 yards, Jim.
Nope, and they let it go.
I'll tell you, Gargiulo pulling out all the stops, a big surprise there,
right,
Jim.
Exactly.
They're up 10 points. They've been moving the ball, and then they try to come up with the onside kick. That's what you call going for it, but nevertheless, a big surprise.
Now, that ball had to travel 10 yards in order for Edison to recover. It did not. It's only 6, so East Brunswick will take the over on Edison's 46-yard line.
With excellent field position, I'll tell you.
Exactly. We have yet to see Cosentino pass the ball.
We haven't seen him go to the air yet, but he's got a fine tight end in Teddy Nemick who can catch the ball. Rob King has the capabilities of catching it as well.
Cosentino gives it to the first back.
Okay, I believe that's Mullane going through.
Right. Gets about a yard on the play. And that's it. So it'll be a 2nd and 9 for the Bears. We have a minute and a half left to go in the first quarter of play. The crowd is slowly arriving here. We do not see the band, by the way. I don't know where they are. I heard drums. I don't know if that was recorded or if it was over on the Edison side. Okay. 2nd and 9 for East Brunswick. Somebody jumped.
I'll tell you, movement up by the Edison defensive line.
Well, we got to determine whether or not he was drawn offside or whether or not he encroached.
Let's see. And you see the Edison players clapping. So legal procedure by the Bears.
And that coming on the right side of the East Brunswick line. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty, making it a 2nd and 14. So you would think this is a passing situation, Mr. Hill.
Well, this is their Frisco set. No, it's not the Frisco set, but nevertheless, it is a passing situation.
Cosentino slants it to Hurley.
I'll tell you, one step. If Hurley could have got the one step there, he would have been gone.
Right. He had a lot of room to travel on that left side. But he gets 2 yards, and that makes it 3rd and 12. And are they going to get this play off? Clock showing 10 seconds. Looks like they will.
Now it's the Frisco set.
Cosentino drops back to pass.
And it's a screen, and there goes Mullane.
And well covered by Edison.
I'll tell you, smelled out by Edison. You're right.
Right, they saw it coming, and the pass goes for about, actually no gain really, maybe 1 yard, bringing up a 4th down, and that concludes the first period of play. Edison, the only team to score. They lead 10-0. Their first touchdown coming with 9:27 gone when Nathaniel Hawthorne, was it Will Hawthorne?
Will Hawthorne.
Did I say Nathaniel? Wow. Okay, well, you know him as number 15 because he's carried most of the time, and scored on a 1-yard run. making it 7-0, and then Edison comes back and 27-yard field goal, that by Ed Jurek, making it 10-0. And that's where we stand right now.
I'll tell you, Jim, the Bears have to regroup and come back. As I said, I saw all 3 scrimmages, including the game against Bridgewater, and they didn't look like they're looking right now, Jim. They got to regroup and come back. Of course, it would help to get something going. Either defensively, they got to make a stand, get a turnover, or get something going offensively. Right now, the Edison Eagles look like world beaters.
They certainly do. Very impressed with Hawthorne. I got to tell you, our microphones are doing a great job. That band sounds like they're right on top of us. This is Cosentino in a punt position. Gets off a beauty. Sort of travels to the left side, takes a bounce forward and then back, and will be down on about the 31-yard line. And Edison will once again take over.
And again, Jim, I'll repeat, defensively, the Bears have to make a stand here. They have to somehow disrupt that Eagle offense.
Right. Somehow they have to get a turnover, perhaps. That would help. You don't expect it, but at the same time, East Brunswick could use a break right about now. We are about ready to go here. Brownlee has been quarterbacking all night for the Eagles. Hawthorne is the deep back. He gets the handoff, and this time they lasso him down.
Okay, and that's what I'm talking about, Jim. And
I think it was actually Cosentino was the first one in the backfield, tripped him up. Hawthorne gets a yard on the play, making it 2nd and 9. Hawthorne again, and they surround them once more.
And once again, the Bear defense is tightening up, Jim. We have down on the bottom there,
I believe number 32 for East Brunswick was the first one to tackle. And we don't have him on our program. Let me recheck that number. That could have been Hurley, Phil.
I think you're right.
So about a no gain on the play, making it 3rd and 9. Brownlee goes back to pass, and
yes,
they get him.
I'll tell you.
First one there was number 76. That was Farrer. David Farrer makes the tackle, and finally East Brunswick stops Edison, making it a 4th down situation.
I'll tell you, David Farrer, 6 feet, 221 pounds, and that's what the Bears needed to stop. Jim, I talked about getting to stop, and they've done it.
All right. Edison punts. Line drive, gathered in by Hurley. Drops it, and picks it up. Thought he was going to fall on it. Boy, that was close.
I'll tell you, a little dangerous there.
And East Brunswick will take over 1st down on its own 44-yard line.
Okay, the Bears have made the defensive stop. Right now, they have to get something going offensively, Jim.
So one of the difficulties of Ryan Cosentino playing defense is that he doesn't have that opportunity to be on the sidelines to talk about the first offensive series.
Well, he's needed on defense, and that's the reason he's there.
So the Bears with a 1st down. We have 9:54 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Edison ahead 10-0. East Brunswick really not threatening yet. That's Cosentino, keeps it, and his footing gives way.
I'll tell you, his footing gave way, but number 30, Dwayne Wilson helped him.
Cosentino picks up about 4 yards, perhaps 5. And making it a 2nd and 5. That had the look of perhaps a bigger gain. And really the only success that East Brunswick has had tonight is when Costantino has kept the ball himself. Let's call it 2nd and 5 for East Brunswick. They are on their own 48-yard line. Give is to in the middle. Nice gain there. That was by number 34.
That's John Mullane.
John Mullane with a good gain.
I'll tell you, a fine run by John, and
looks enough to be a first down.
I'll tell you, they're measuring. And he has it.
They will call a first down for East Brunswick. So an opportunity here.
I'll tell you, the Bears seem to have something going right now, Jim.
Right.
They just have to sustain it.
All right. King goes over to the other side of the field. Costantino give up the middle. Nothing there, as there has been all evening.
I'll tell you,
nothing.
Led by number 66, Tom Kim.
And if East Brunswick thinks it's going to move the middle of that Edison line out, they can forget it.
Well, they haven't done it just yet, Jim, but they have to run that middle in order to set up everything else.
That is correct. That's the key to the wishbone. No gain on the play, making it 2nd and 10. Clock continues to move since this has been primarily a lot of running on both sides of the ball. Costantino drops back to pass. He gets away, decides to run, and dives to the marker. I think he may have picked up a first down. We'll have to see where the official marks it. But once again, it's Ryan Costantino that's making the yards for East Brunswick on the ground.
And he has that ability. I saw him against a Pat Kong go about 80 yards on a run, Jim, so he has that kind of ability. It's just a question of how much you want to use him.
Well, they have the advantage on the far side of the field of that ball heading right out on the marker, and believe me, it is just shy by a couple inches. So it'll bring up a 3rd down. They're going to mark the ball.
They're measuring it.
Well, it's already been measured.
Okay.
They're just going to position the ball right shy of the 35-yard line. I believe this is about as far as East Brunswick has penetrated this game. They would dearly love to have a score, get back in this game. Evening starting to become cool, which should bring a lot of dampness to the field. Looks like a quarterback sneak here, doesn't it? They're trying to draw him offside. Costantino keeps it, gets to the outside, has room, makes one deke, and is finally brought down. That was a good call.
Good call, a good keep, and good yardage.
And once again, Ryan Costantino.
And tackled by Jerry Lithgow again.
Gain of 15 on the play. That advances the ball down to the 20-yard line. East Brunswick with another first down.
I'll tell you, a nice fake into the line to the fullback. Costantino pulled it out and took off around the corner for good yardage.
Right, and of course that quarterback has to be very adept at making the read. We have under 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. Again, Edison up 7-0. The receivers go to the right. That's Costantino, gives to Mullane, has a hole.
I'll tell you, good run. And a tackle by
Number 12. That was Brownlee.
That's right.
He's in there.
So we talk about Costantino being on defense.
Both quarterbacks in.
Both quarterbacks, both valuable commodities on defense there.
Okay, and that was a fine job of blocking by that East Brunswick line
A fine
on the
job,
right side.
Fine job of blocking and a fine running job by Mullane.
Right, and somebody other than Ryan Costantino making some yards. He gets 9 on that play, making it 2nd and 1. Easily East Brunswick's best penetration. Cosentino keeps it him, drags a couple of tacklers with him, and he brings the ball about to the 5-yard line. That was a nice gain here.
He's been a bull, I tell you. He's been reading properly, first of all.
That's the key right there. He is making the right reads. East Brunswick with a first down on the 5-yard line. They have a 1st and goal. And they will have 4 cracks at getting that ball in the end zone. East Brunswick with a little life here.
I'll tell you, King and Hurley spread right.
Cosentino gives it to Mullane, and he drives forward, I think, for a couple. Let's see where they mark his forward progress.
And coming off the bottom of that.
Well, they only give him 1 on that play. I thought he made a little more.
Andre Stanislaw, and you hear his name a lot for the Eagles, a fine linebacker.
Phil, you got to think with the way Cosentino has been making that read.
He's got to keep it himself.
Yeah, and then bringing it either to the left or right. And do we have a timeout here? I believe so. East Brunswick? No, Edison is the one that calls a timeout.
I start to say East Brunswick's moving the ball. I doubt if they're.
And that's where we stand at this point with 4:49 left to go in the second quarter. East Brunswick looking to get its first score. You see Marcus Borden, East Brunswick head coach, coming out onto the field.
And
Marcus Borden.
as you see Borden go out there, you pointed out that the way Cosentino has been running, that he might keep there. They have some fine backs there that can power that ball in as well, though, Jim. Some speedsters and some power as well. But
Well, it's. I want to talk a little bit about the other fall sports teams for East Brunswick.
ahead.
They have the boys soccer team. I don't know if you know, has jumped out to a nice 3-0 record. They have won their first 3 games, coached by Dan Haston, and the girls are currently 2-1. I believe they lost their opening game to Union Catholic, which is a state power. And East Brunswick girls soccer teams does not shy away from the best teams. The girls gymnastics team are also unbeaten in their first 2 meets, and they have already knocked off Bishop R.
Wow.
That was yesterday by a 104.5 to 95.7 score, and Bishop R was considered to be the kingpin in GMC, so that might put East Brunswick in.
okay,
ahead.
here we go. Right.
2nd and goal. Ball is at the 4-yard line. Watch for Cosentino to keep the ball. No, he gives it to Pleasant. And Pleasant goes in.
And that's what I'm talking
Good
about,
call.
Jim.
Good call.
They have some good backs there. Brad Pleasant, the captain of this team, probably one of the might be the strongest player pound for pound. And you see Brad coming off the field there. Just a fine hole that opened up for Brad, and Brad took it right through.
Again, we have him listed as 147 in the program, and I'd like to put him on a scale right now because I don't think he's quite that.
He's tough, though.
But he is a tough player, and gets those 4 yards for East Brunswick, and a very important extra point right here, I might add. It is 10-6, and Mr. Hill will do the extra point for East Brunswick.
Okay.
Cosentino will hold.
They're missing a player.
That's
Mercy.
That looks like it.
I'll tell you.
Well, we have a report that the reason why East Brunswick's band is not here is that they are in Atlantic City for the Miss America pageant,
Which is quite an honor.
which is tomorrow night. But I guess they're down there a day early for a parade along the boardwalk. Who knows?
Jim, I think what has happened here is that they've decided to go for 2, Jim.
You think so?
I think yes. They've pulled the kicker. They've decided to go for 2 points.
Okay. That is an interesting call. That is the second charged timeout for East Brunswick. Score is 10-6. East Brunswick just scored on a 4-yard run by Brad Pleasant after stopping Edison for the first time and then proceeding to go down the field in a nice, orderly fashion, putting the points on the board.
And they are going for 2.
So we will watch. A whistle
Oh, mercy.
and a flag here. Let's see what the call is.
Can't be a delay of game. It appears to be against Edison.
Right, and that can only help East Brunswick in its try for 2 points because it brings it 1.5 yards closer.
Whatever's happened, a lot is going on.
Apparently, Edison lined up in the neutral zone.
And I'll tell you, look for the fullback right here, or a keep by the quarterback.
Well, the Bears have had some good success in this last drive, going in all parts of the field, especially that right side. Cosentino, though, gives it to Pleasant, who goes in.
I'll tell you.
This is a different East Brunswick team,
This
Phil.
is, well, I said that at the top of the game, that this is a different team. You have some fighters here. You have they will be down, but they won't give up. And they took advantage of a situation here, went for the 2 points. Sort of a surprise, but it worked out for them.
And that will make the score East Brunswick down 10-8 now. And they will kick off, and certainly a rejuvenated team here.
Well, again, let's go back to where we talked about they needed to stop. They made the stop defensively, came right around and got something going offensively, moved the ball down the field nicely. And the good thing about it is that they've gotten everybody into the play, Jim.
Exactly.
They used a number of different players, and when you can have balance like that, it bids well for your team.
A couple of adjustments on the defense. Will Hawthorne was just having his way, going in, over, and around the East Brunswick defensive line. And then in the last series, you saw some good penetration by the linebackers.
By the linebackers, I think the whole team obviously made some adjustments, but they also got more aggressive. I talked about the need to disrupt that offense, and that's what they've done.
All right, Justin Hill will kick off for East Brunswick. That score coming at 4:44 left to go in the second period. East Brunswick would like to get back on the board, but they'll have to make a defensive stop here. Hill lifts one. It's a short kick. Goes down to about the 25. Hawthorne with it. Breaks a tackle.
Ooh.
Then he's nailed that time. Who was that?
Let's see that. That's number 26, Tommy McCluskey.
Tom McCluskey on the tackle.
I'll tell you, a hitter.
Did a nice job. So East Brunswick will make its defensive stand on about the 32-yard line. First down for the Eagles. East Brunswick very active on defense here. Hawthorne gets through.
I'll tell you, I thought there's some movement on, I guess that's just quick movement on the offensive line.
Right.
It's got off the ball quickly.
Nice gain on the play of about 7 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 3 for the Eagles. I thought Cosentino was going to get Hawthorne in the backfield, but he made a juke move to the left and found a hole and got his yards.
And, Jim, there is a 32 in there.
For East Brunswick?
37, Batwash.
Okay. The give is to Allen. Finds a hole, but
I'll tell you.
is quickly lassoed. Tackler on that play
I think that was McCluskey once again coming up from his safety position.
It was. Allen nonetheless got a yard, 2 yards on that play, and he is just short of the first down. 3rd and perhaps a half yard. Brownlee on a quarterback sneak appears to have the first down. And that'll give the Eagles a first down on their own 43-yard line. Down to 3:10 to go in the second quarter. Edison ahead 10-8. Edison with a touchdown and a field goal. East Brunswick comes back with its own touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And that's where we stand. Bob Brownlee, the Edison quarterback. Drops back to pass. Looks like a screen set up here. And they got nice move.
Oh, mercy, a nice tackle, one-on-one.
It was. It looked like Hawthorne had the makings of a long run there.
And that is Zukas staying home and making an awfully nice tackle. Hawthorne, of course, the very dangerous player for the Eagles. And again, Zukas, an open field tackle.
Gain of 8 yards on the play. Brings the ball just short of midfield. 2nd and 2. Brownlee, Hawthorne. Pickup of about 5 on that play. That'll give Edison another first down. Stops the clock with 2:09 as they set the chains. And the Eagles will try once more. Brownlee keeps. He's going to throw long.
Wow.
Open.
Wow.
There again is number 85.
I'll tell you, that is as nice as play action as we've seen there.
Jerry Lithgow is the receiver and advances the ball down to the 7-yard line.
I'll tell you, Brownlee faked the dive into the line, had a guy coming for reverse as well, and then stepped back and threw a bullet.
And Edison threatening once again with 1:40 left to go in the second quarter. He hasn't thrown often, but when he has, he's been right on the money.
That's the only second time he's thrown today, and you're right, fine throws.
Give us to Hawthorne up the pipe, and
wow.
What do they say? Yes, he's in. Touchdown. And that is a very deflating score for East Brunswick.
That's what you call smelling the goal line right there.
Will Hawthorne, the feature back for Edison, gets his first touchdown of the evening.
It's his.
Making the score 16-8 on a 7-yard run.
Second touchdown.
Sorry?
Second touchdown, no?
You're right, he did score that first touchdown, yeah. It's okay to correct me. Kick is up and good. And the score is now 17-8.
I'll tell you, Edison's showing some resiliency after the Bears scored, coming right back.
You would have thought that East Brunswick had a little bit life, but that play, that long pass by Brownlee was a killer.
Play action pass really killed him. You're right.
Touchdown coming with 1:24 left to go in the first half of play. The score: Edison 17, East Brunswick 8. And the Bears will have to regroup once more. What do we got here? Well, Cosentino's coming in on
I
the
think
kickoff.
this is the onside kick team that they have out there. Of course, the Eagles tried an onside kick after scoring the last touchdown before.
Right.
So Gordon has his all-hands team out there right now looking for the onside kick.
Interesting how they line up here. They go 5-5 and 1.
And, of course, the kicker's taking his time and look like he's setting the ball on the tee to kick it away now.
Well, he does have the option. He can make a decision to change his mind and kick it deep. And I think that's what he's going to do. It is an onside.
Whoa!
Gathered in.
Who's that?
That was caught in.
That was Tom Corio. You talk about your all-hands team out there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. Caught it with nothing but hands.
Well, no time off the clock. And East Brunswick will have excellent field position. Ball on its own 48-yard line. Let's see what the Bears can do. I believe they have one timeout left. They've used 2. Quick pass to the right.
Rob King
Gets it. Tries to get a little room, but he ends up getting about 5.
I'll tell you, a little juking by Rob and picked up some good yardage.
And the Bears line up on the ball.
But you go back to consecutive onside kicks. Are they respecting the Bears' kick return? We know they have a kicker. He's kicked the field goal. You got to wonder why Edison went to consecutive.
Cosentino across the middle, gathered in. Looks like Hurley on that reception. That is the first pass completion. Actually, the second, counting the screen.
And a nice look in, and this is a hurry-up offense right now.
First down for East Brunswick. Ball on the 33-yard line of Edison.
They're in the Frisco set right now.
We're under a minute. Pass out to the left side. Nice play. And King gathers it in.
And stops the clock.
Right, ball on the 30-yard line. And East Brunswick will have now a little time to set up the play. Let's call a gain of about 6 on that, 5 perhaps.
Okay, Cosentino's trying to get the play from the sideline. Still sort of unsure.
He has 25 seconds to get the play off. Well, they're still using time here. Going back deep. Is Cosentino, doesn't find a receiver, gets out of there.
Still on his feet.
But he is hammered just short of the first down marker. Clock continues to run. Now they stop it. I think they want to take a look at where the ball is, see if Cosentino did in fact get a first down.
And Andre Stanislaw once again, number 22.
No, they are going to call it short. And let's see if East Brunswick uses his final timeout. They do. So the situation is East Brunswick has no timeouts left, I believe, and a third and a short one to go. The ball is on the 26-yard line. Phil Borden is talking to the officials.
Well, something he's unhappy about, but 36 seconds left in the half there. Third down in a little bit.
Well, in actuality, this is 2-down territory, so that doesn't make any difference. The problem is the clock for East Brunswick. They're going to have to score quickly.
Okay.
Cosentino takes the ball himself. He's got room.
And he's got the first down. He's got to get up, though.
They got to move. All right, the clock will stop so they can move the chains. But East Brunswick is all ready. Now they say it's okay. And he spikes the ball. So excellent clock management here.
It gives him some time, certainly spiking the ball. 26 seconds left. First down, and gives him a little room to maneuver.
Ball is on the 17-yard line. I'll tell you what, if East Brunswick can score here, that would be remarkable, really. Because they only had a minute. And of course, Edison had that onside kick, if you remember, Phil.
Again, I go back. I'm wondering about consecutive onside kicks. Trying to figure it out.
It just took a lot of yards off the real estate that East Brunswick had to travel, and they are taking advantage of it right now. So it is 2nd down and 10. Ball on about the 17. 26 seconds left on the clock. Edison with a 17-8 lead.
Oh, and
unfortunately, wow, whoa.
That's a flag.
2 flags now.
Cosentino, once you're down in high school, once you hit the ground, you're down, Jim.
Right, now this is the problem. East Brunswick would have had a first down and a 15-yard penalty, but Cosentino went back at the Edison player, and I think they're going to neutralize those penalties. We'll wait and see. Definitely was a late hit on the Edison side.
Well, it would be unsportsmanlike on both. Both sides, Jim.
Yes,
you
it
called
was. And Ryan Cosentino's reaction really a lost opportunity for East Brunswick. They would have had the ball on the 10-yard line. So that is a tough one. I'm sure Ryan would like that back. So the ball will actually turn out to be a loss for East Brunswick.
Well, you're right.
Cosentino slipping
he
down
slipped,
on the ground.
and as he slipped, the Edison player came into him, hit him, as I said, in high school ball. Once you're down, you're down. They'll move it, and then they'll bring it back again, Jim. I don't know why they do that.
For the life of me, I don't understand why they do something like that. Go 15 and then come back 15, if that is what is happening.
Which is essentially the same place.
It's got to be a high school rule. So instead of, like I said, first down on the 10-yard line, or wouldn't have been it would have been an automatic first down, a personal foul. East Brunswick now has 19 seconds to work with, and the ball is on the 27-yard line.
Okay, you might look for Hurley on that slanting again.
What do we have here? Official blows the whistle.
And you see this Frisco set. You got Mullane in the backfield. Mullane could either run or certainly provide extra protection for Cosentino. They used to do 5 receivers. Now they're down to four receivers.
Cosentino drops back.
And a good block by Mullane.
Throws long to Hurley. Almost
mercy. And there's a flag, Jim.
Another flag. What's this one about?
Holding?
What do they got?
They're calling holding on the Bears.
Wow. Okay. Boy, Chris Hurley was definitely open.
I'll tell you, he was open and he was left his feet. I thought he had it, Jim.
So let's bring that back another 10 yards.
7 seconds left.
17-8 is the score. East Brunswick knocking on the door here in the last few seconds, but hasn't been able to push it in.
And you got to think they're going to go for the long one. I don't know if the Bears can give Cosentino enough time, but you got to believe they're going to put it up there. And you might look for a King on a fly pattern.
This is Cosentino. Avoids one tackle. Long pass to Hurley.
Oh, mercy.
Wow, he almost caught it. Boy, that was a nice pass.
Hurley got his hands on it. The defender was coming over and just deflected off his hands there. Nice throw by Cosentino.
And that is the last play of the first half. East Brunswick almost getting a touchdown. That would have been a great score. Nonetheless, that is the halftime score, 17-8. Edison over East Brunswick. And Phil, a couple of lost opportunities, but by and large, the failure of East Brunswick's defense to stop Edison has been the major surprise so far.
Well, I think it has been a surprise, and yet they have tightened up at times there. They're going to go in the locker room and again figure out Hawthorne is eating up too much of the real estate here and figure out some way to stop him. Offensively, the Bears have come back themselves and whatnot. You talked about missed opportunities. There's a couple plays that certainly could have been touchdowns. And I'm sure they'll come back and try to keep what they've started late in the second quarter in the second half.
Okay, so it is halftime here at East Brunswick High School. Edison holding a 17-8 lead. Don't go away. It looks like we're going to have some good fireworks here in the second half. Both teams showing capability of moving the ball. So let's take a short break now. We will be back with the second half kickoff right after this.
I'll tell you, Jim, as you see the clock there, we got one of the all-time clock keepers there with Chester Zdrowski from South River, who does the Giants games, Rutgers games, and all sorts of games. He's been doing it for officiating of some sort for 50-something years. And a couple retired principals, of course, he's one. But you got Al Lozowitz in the house and Charlie King, of course. Al Lozowitz for South River, Charlie King for East Brunswick.
Right, and I will also tell you that Red Lozowitz, who we have seen as an official, is entering his 50th year.
Wow.
Which is quite an achievement.
And you're going to do a talk show with him.
Yes, we are going to line him up. We just get the final details put together and gather right in a studio chair and pick his brains for a half hour. That should be interesting.
Should be.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, here we are. And, of course, the Bears will receive.
Which is good.
Which is good.
They give them the offensive, the ball and let them start out.
Well, clearly they had some momentum, Jim, going into the half there. They didn't score, but they certainly had the opportunities to score. You saw Chris Hurley come very close twice to scoring, and the Bears are missing one of their top receivers. Christian Azo is out with a bad leg, but once he gets healthy, that's going to be a big plus for that receiving core.
All right, if you just joined us, it is 17-8, Edison in favor. This is the second half kickoff of a game in which Edison scored a touchdown in the first quarter, followed by a field goal to make it 10-0. East Brunswick came back as Brad Pleasant on a 4-yard run narrowed the score to 10-6, and then it was a 2-point conversion by Pleasant that made it 10-8. Edison, however, came back and responded with a score to make it 17-8. East Brunswick almost scored at the end of the first half, gave them a little bit of life, and they're going to see if they can pick it up right here. So let's see if they have an onside kick, Phil.
I was getting ready to say, I bet you lunch they don't kick an onside kick here, Jim.
Let's see. I got a place already picked out. You just don't know. All right, Eagles do kick off. Let's see, that's we haven't gotten his number all night. I think it's number 88. I believe that's Bertha on the kick. Punts it to Pleasant, who has room. He has room.
I'll tell you. He
just has to get past the kicker.
Go. Ball.
Gets by. Now it's a foot race.
Wait.
Pleasant is going to score.
I'll tell you. Brad Pleasant.
Just the juice that they needed right there.
And Jim, maybe that's the answer why they've been kicking the onside kick, to keep it away from Brad Pleasant.
I think you're right there. That was Brad Pleasant who picked the ball up on about the 20-yard line, found a seam. I saw it immediately, and he went right through. Only needed to get around the kicker. I'm not sure who laid that block out on that kicker, but did just enough to give Pleasant some room to move to the right, and he used his speed to get into the end zone, and we have a 17-14 game now.
I'll tell you, the captain president is a leader of this team. Worked hard during the offseason and also had the other players working very hard.
And 13 seconds elapse off the clock, in case anybody's interested.
And that's zigging and zagging.
It was really a speed burn, though, I think it was Pleasant's ability to outrun the field that really enabled him to get into the end zone.
He's got very good speed, but
now look, are they going for a 2 here?
They're going for 2 again.
Okay, let's watch. Cosentino calling signals. Keeps it himself. I think he's going to get in.
And he got it.
And that was a nice play. They have really had good success on that right side.
And Jim, we talked about momentum right before the half, and the Bears come out and take it right to the Eagles here. And I'll tell you, the crowd's still buzzing about that kickoff return.
And we have ourselves a football game once again. It is 17-16. Edison is still ahead. However, Phil, we noticed both as the team came out for the second half, there was a lot of life in them. Sometimes you don't see that when a team gets down.
I'll tell you, I like them coming out like that rather than the old way when they used to come out walking slow and whatnot. Right. You got to get loosened up. You've been in that locker room. You got to get loosened up, and you got to come out with some spirit, and it makes a difference. And right there, it did make a difference.
Okay, so East Brunswick will kick off. Justin Hill will kick off for the Bears. Hawthorne, and that is number 21 for Edison. Rafael Matos.
Okay,
are the deep backs.
We know Hawthorne is a dangerous kicker. We'll see if they try to kick it away from him.
And obviously important that East Brunswick's defense pick up where the offense did and see if they can be as spirited. Hill gets into it.
And they kicked it away from Hawthorne.
Right, and he has trouble with it. Matos picks it up and gets some yardage up to about the 25-yard line. All in all, a good situation for East Brunswick. here come the Bears defense. Let's see what they can do.
Okay, the Bears, it should be contagious. Some of that enthusiasm should rub off on the defense. We'll see.
Bob Brownlee, the quarterback for Edison, as he has all evening, gives it to his feature back, Hawthorne, who, what do we got here?
A
There's a fumble on the play. I didn't quite see the ball leave Hawthorne's hands.
Me neither, but the Bears clearly recovered it, Jim.
I believe, I'm not sure, I think it might have been number 80 for East Brunswick, but I'm not definite on it.
Number 80 would be Rob King.
Right. Nonetheless, East Brunswick gets the ball in excellent field position on Edison's 30-yard line. They will take over.
And we talked about momentum rubbing off to the defense, and on the first play there, it certainly did.
Cosentino looks like he's either audibling. East Brunswick with two backs to the left here. And the right tackle for East Brunswick moves. That's what you don't want to see at this point.
That's all right. Nathan Greenhut, who's been doing a good job for him today, just got off a little bit early. Still first down.
1st and 15 for East Brunswick. Now the ball's on the 35. It was an interesting setup for East Brunswick, and they go right back to it. You've got Hurley and it's like give up the middle to Mullane.
That's John Mullane on the run there, picking up good yardage.
Gets actually back to the original line of scrimmage. So
6 yards.
6 yards, making it 2nd and 9. We have plenty of football left to play here. We're just starting the second half. East Brunswick returning the kickoff. 80 yards, Brad Pleasant to make the score now 17-16 in favor of Edison. 2nd and 9 for East Brunswick. Ball on the 34. Cosentino keeps it himself, slips though. And I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he slipped and he was nailed as well. Number 30 coming up for the Eagles. That's Dwayne Wilson once again.
Well, we'll call it no gain, so that'll make it 3rd and 9. I have no doubt that East Brunswick, if they do not make it on this play, Phil will go for it. They're deep enough.
Up there, you got to believe they're going. Well, they've got to be going to the air right here, right now. They're in their Frisco set right here, and this is their passing set.
Cosentino drops back. He looks for somebody, can't find him. Now he's running for his life. Throws the ball a little high, however. Was intended for King.
I'll tell you, good pressure by the Eagles, flushing Cosentino out of the pocket.
And it'll bring up a 4th down, 4th and 9. And you wonder if the Bears will take a timeout, perhaps, and talk about this.
Well,
Warden shouts the play to Cosentino, so they know what they want to do.
they're going for it.
10:02 left to go in the 3rd quarter. East Brunswick down by a point, 17-16. They will go for it on 4th down, 9 yards to go. They are in Edison territory. Cosentino slips once more, but he gets through the middle, and let's see. I think he has enough for the first down.
I'll tell you, just a tremendous effort by Cosentino there. You're right, Jim. Fortunate enough to keep his balance so his knee didn't go down. Otherwise, he would have been called down, and he did pick up the first down.
Wow, and that's a big one. That's a big first down for the Bears on that play. And they advance the ball inside the 20-yard line. They have a first down. Knocking on the door once more. Now he sends his receivers over to the left side.
They've been doing a lot of that.
This could be, okay, we'll see what we got here. Looks like he's going to know. He's going to slant it to Pleasant.
That was a counter.
Yeah, and Edison was ready for it that time. Might have got a loss on that. We'll call it a loss of 1.
Margaritondo on the tackle.
2nd and 11.
Okay.
King and Hurley flank to the left. I could see that slant coming, Phil. Here it comes. Hurley is open.
Yes.
And he catches it in the end zone for a touchdown. I saw that play coming. There you go.
I'll tell you, Hurley showing good hands right there.
And a beautiful pass by Costantino.
I'll tell you, and give that offensive line a lot of credit because they gave Costantino an awful lot of time.
Exactly. Get that offensive line. If you can get those names, Phil, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. And that is successful from 19 yards out and gives East Brunswick its first lead of the evening, 22-17. Touchdown coming at 8:25 left in the third quarter.
Of course, you got Oliver, David Oliver on that line.
Okay.
Chris Corsal, Matt Zukas, Nathan Greenhut, Keith Mahoney.
Just to mention a few. And they will now go for the extra point. Hill will be on for the try.
And David Farrar.
We got a flag. What do we got here? Delay a game?
Some type of infraction. Is it mouthpiece?
It could be that. We'll hold on a second. Well, that might be an illegal substitution. We don't know.
I think it might be a mouthpiece or something like that. I'm not sure.
Well, now it'll become a kick 5 yards further. There's the snap. Kick is up, and it is through. So the point conversion by Justin Hill makes the score 23-17 in favor of East Brunswick. And it's been all Bears here in the second.
And I'll tell you, Jim, if you're a Bear fan, what you got to like is, again, we talked about balance with the Eagles, but the balance here. The running game seems to be going pretty well. Costantino has been right on the money with all his throws, whether they've been caught or not. And now the receivers are starting to catch them. Again, the offensive line did a marvelous job in giving Costantino time, and they look good.
Well, they'll see if they can hold on to that momentum. Remember now, Edison had one possession following that touchdown run by Brad Pleasant. Hawthorne fumbled the ball, so they really haven't seen too much action here. We'll have to see how East Brunswick's defense comes up. And you look a little cold.
Well, it's a little chillier than I would like, Jim. And let's see if Justin's able to keep it away from Hawthorne again.
Right, and that was a key during that last kickoff. Matos and Hawthorne, the deep backs for the Eagles. And it is to that side once more. Matos gathers it in on his 15. He jukes a little bit, has some room, and battles his way up to about the 33-yard line. Edison will take over there, trailing for the first time this evening, 23-17. 8:20 left to go in the first, in the third quarter.
And the defense has to assert themselves once again, Jim. It's,
All right. Bob Brownlee, the Edison quarterback, gives it off to, I think it's Allen this time. Doesn't get too much, and they sort of drive him back.
And again, the middle of that defensive line.
Corsal was in there.
Doing the job. Chris Corsal, of course, coming off the bottom, as well as as well as Batwash.
Gain of about 2 on the play, making it 2nd and 8. Ball's on the 35-yard line. And I would think that Edison wants to try to exploit the middle of that line once more, see if they can establish some sort of regularity here. But Brownlee will go, there's a blitz.
Screen.
And we have a screen. Ball was tipped and intercepted. Who was that? Number 25.
That is Tommy Corio.
Corio once again with a big play. And I didn't see who tipped the ball, but that was clearly the big play on that part. And once more, the turnover for East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, Corio come up with the big play, but the pressure by the defense. Zook is blowing in there and a few of the other players as well.
Bears will get the ball on the 37-yard line. That was an excellent play on the East Brunswick's defense. And so the Bears will take over once more. And I'll tell you what, they've had a lot of success through the air on that long pass play. I think they might try it again. Let's see. Note the give is to Pleasant. And he is still on his feet.
I'll tell you.
Good yards.
Like a pinball, bounced to one side and bounced inside to pick up 2 extra yards.
He got 7 on that play. And that'll make it 2nd and 3.
And I'll tell you, the Bears looking rather confident out there, Jim.
They are now, that's for sure. Cosentino has shown an excellent ability to get that ball in on a line to whoever receiver he's throwing to. He has a quarterback sneak. That might have been his own call. Most quarterbacks, Phil, have the option,
well, you just,
of audibling at the line if they see something.
Or you just pat the butt of the center, and he knows to pull out, and you follow right behind him.
Let's
if
see.
Nobody's over the center, a lot of times the quarterback will do that. And he picked up the first down, Jim.
Ball at the 26-yard line. Bears marching once again. Give is to Mullane. He's got room. Without doubt, that East Brunswick offensive line is playing much better.
The offensive line is doing the job. The undersized offensive line is doing quite a job. Dave Oliver, particularly, they're running behind him right now.
Oliver, 6'5", 217.
I tell you, he's one of the few guys on that line that has some size.
Mullane will give him about 5 yards on the play, making it 2nd and 5. 5:36 left to go in the third quarter. East Brunswick ahead 23-17. 2 touchdowns in this third quarter for the Bears. Cosentino keeps it. Heads around the left side. He's got room. He needs a block.
He's in.
And he gets into the end zone. Credit Rob King,
Phil. Flag. Holding, Jim.
All right. I see it. Rob King with an excellent block there.
I'll tell you, Rob King out there throwing a block. Costantino going right up his tail for the would-be touchdown. However, it's coming back on a holding penalty.
Unfortunately for the Bears, that would have been a crushing touchdown.
But the point is, Jim, as I said, they look like a rather confident group out there, and it's almost like they can't wait for the next play. They got the penalty on this play here, but they're unbowed about that.
Absolutely. Okay, so the mark-off is to the 30-yard line. The penalty is from the point of the foul, which was over, I think it was just around the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 15. And East Brunswick will try once more. Cosentino is looking very comfortable at
I'll
quarterback.
tell you, and he may put it up right here.
Goes back to pass. There it is.
Wide open.
It's number 28.
Teddy Nemec.
Touchdown, East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, just a nice play action pass there. Costantino showing a touch, and Teddy Nemec with his first varsity touchdown, making a nice catch with soft hands.
And there's an Edison player down on the field. Not quite sure who it is. He's holding his knee. That touchdown, 30 yards from Costantino.
And you see Coach Tom Gargiulo coming out to check out his player right now.
That is Ryan Costantino's second touchdown pass of the evening. Makes the score now 29-17. Question is, do they go for two?
29-17, 17. Why not?
Possibly.
As we see the young player down there again, it talked about the fact that Costantino showed, we've seen him throw the bullets time and time again. This time, just on a play action, laid it up there, Jim. And Teddy Nemec with nice soft hands pulled it in. They making it look rather easy.
And they're examining the left ankle of the injured player, and I can't quite get his number.
Well, you see the trainer for the Eagles out there along with Phil Hostler as well. And we certainly hope the young fella.
You know, Phil, not
okay.
only has Costantino been right on the mark, but as we had said, the ability of the East Brunswick receivers to get open has been important.
Well, I think what everybody has been wondering, we know Costantino has the arm. Is there going to be anybody to catch the ball? That's what people have been asking. Are there going to be any receivers? You know, is there going to be a go-to guy? Well, there doesn't appear to be a go-to guy, but they seem to be. He has spread it out, and everybody seems to be coming through.
And finally, the offensive line has been providing time
and the
for Ryan to throw.
Exactly, which was another question because they were undersized. Could they provide him with the time? But they pulled out the whole package today, and they're playing with confidence.
Players are taking off their helmets now. All right, let's see. That player, I believe, is number 86. So that would be who?
That would be Wally Williams.
Wiley Williams, the junior, 6'3", 180. And he now gets up. And it's 66, Phil.
Oh, 66.
Apologize for that.
All right, and that is Tom Kim. Tom Kim, one of their defensive stalwarts, one of the better players for the Eagles.
5'8". He tried to limp, but he couldn't, so now he's going to get some help. They're going to bring the cart on the field so that he can be driven off.
And I tell you, you sort of hate to see it, Jim. Injuries are a part of the game.
He is in some discomfort.
And the fans on both sides give him a hand.
Kim is 5'8" and 230 pounds, so you're right about him being an important player.
Yeah, he's one of the defensive stalwarts.
So East Brunswick, having scored on that last play, 29-17, will go for, looks to be 2 points.
I'm trying to remember, Jim, the last time we've seen 29 points by a Bear team.
Well, this surpasses the 28 they scored against Edison last year. That was the highest point total of the season. So Costantino will try to go for two. Goes to the left, gives to Pleasant.
And he's in.
And I got to tell you, Phil, Edison looks demoralized now.
Again, what is happening? The Bears are coming right at you again. Another key block by the offensive line, and Pleasant takes it in.
And that makes the score 31-17.
And we certainly
what a turnaround.
28 points was the most points scored last year, and that was against Edison. 31 here is certainly.
It's the right way to get on the. I mean, obviously the Bridgewater loss hurts, but the Bears really needed this to inject some enthusiasm into their program.
Well, we talked about it all along that they had the ability. This is a different team. They got a lot of young, spirited players, and they're being led by their seniors, but a lot of the younger ones are contributing as well.
So with 5:09 left to go in the third quarter, East Brunswick has tacked 3 touchdowns on in this quarter. And from a 17 to 8 halftime deficit is now ahead 31-17. We got a lot more football left to play.
A whole lot.
Hill will kick it off. Matos and Hawthorne deep for Edison. And we've done this a lot this quarter. Hill puts it into that same corner. This time Hawthorne takes it up the middle.
And there goes Hawthorne.
He's through. Hill tries to get a hold of him, but he dodged around.
All the way.
Hawthorne will go all the way.
And we have a Bear player down.
Well, he's up now.
And Hawthorne has been the thorn in the side of the Bears all night, and about an 80-yard kick return there.
80-yard touchdown, we'll call it. Coming at 4:55, and as it appeared that East Brunswick was going to run away with this one, now suddenly there's life in Edison.
We talked about keeping it away from Hawthorne, and that's the reason why.
So we've had 2 kickoffs returned for touchdowns tonight. One by Brad Pleasant to begin the second half, now Hawthorne. And a penalty flag thrown. Let's see what we got.
I think they're lined up in the neutral zone. Let's see. Too many players on the field. Well, that's one way of stopping them.
Pleasant walks off the field. And they bring it down to the 1 end. Nonetheless, Edison will still go for the kick to make it a 7-point deficit. Right now it's 31-23. Kick is up, and it is through. So the score now is East Brunswick 31 and Edison 24. We have ourselves a football game once again.
We have ourselves a football game. A lot of scoring going to be in this game yet.
Apparently.
And the Eagles doing some good downfield blocking on that return as well.
This has been nothing but kickoffs this quarter. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns scored in the space of 7 minutes.
2 kickoff returns for TDs.
All right.
Now it really gets interesting. I don't think it'd be an onside kick, but certainly a squib kick probably by the Eagles.
Joe Bertha is number 88 for Edison, and he is the kicker. So he is lined up. We'll see what happens. Early in, Pleasant or deep for the Bears. It's sort of like you said, in between. And the player for East Brunswick falls to his knees. I wonder why, Phil.
Well,
he had a lot of time.
That's basically what you taught. You just want to get the ball there. That's Teddy Nemec, I believe, again, that falls on the ball, and that's the way their coach is, Jim.
So East Brunswick will take over 1st and 10. Ball is at their 38-yard line. They have good field position. I tell you what, I realize that Brad Pleasant, can run back kickoffs, but I would want to put East Brunswick as far back as I possibly can. Make them go, the full distance of the football field. They've had wonderful field position all evening. Here comes East Brunswick once more. Pleasant pops through.
I'll tell you.
He is running explosively in the second half.
He's an explosive young player.
Picks up a crisp 7 yards on that play. Making it 2nd and 3.
And again, he's running on Oliver's side there.
Exactly. David Oliver, the big tackle for the Bears. Ball is on the 46-yard line. Cosentino will take the snap. Keeps himself, gets through, cuts to the middle, still on his feet, and drives all the way to the 39-yard line.
I tell you, they got it going, Jim.
They have not been able to stop East Brunswick in this half.
The thing is, the Bears are mixing it up so well, Jim. They really have the Eagles off balance right now.
Cosentino has been running up some statistics. I'm sure he's close to 100 yards.
And you can expect him to do a lot of running. I don't think you see the ball in the air too much there, Jim. They're going to take some time off that clock and try to control the ball.
The first down for East Brunswick down to the 39, where they will set up once again, looking to put more points on the board. Give is to Pleasant on the right side. Spins move. Gets about 3 yards on the play.
I'll tell you, the Barry Sanders move right there by Pleasant.
Right. Brought down. We haven't mentioned his name, but I think we should. He's been rather active tonight. That's the middle linebacker, Andre Istinla. Did he say that?
Stanislaw. I've mentioned his name before,
okay,
Jim, because he has been active. He's one of the good ones. 5'11", 180-pound senior. Number 22, Andre Stanislaw.
And he's been calling signals for the Edison defense. A 4-yard gain for Pleasant, we'll call it. 2nd and 6. Mullane this time gets good yards. Drives close to the first down. I think he's a little short.
And Dwayne Wilson, number 30, coming up with the tackle again. Few of the players, Stanislaw and Wilson, have been key players on that defensive front.
And Phil, I still can't get over the surge that the East Brunswick offensive line has been able to apply to a obviously bigger defensive line on Edison's part.
They may be bigger, but the point is, and the Bears are, all year, they're going to be smaller than just about everybody when they play. Of course, there's a timeout, Marcus Gordon going out there. But what they've said is that we want to be in better condition than anybody, and we want to be able to outlast anybody and be quicker.
See a few faces out there. Keith Roman, I'm sorry, is out there. Of course, Nathan Greenhut has been a fixture all evening on the right side.
You got to wonder about that time out there, Jim.
I think they have to do something to stop East Brunswick. I think the defensive line is sort of sagging right now, and they need to do something to shore up the defense. Make some. I think it's more like a pep talk.
Might be right.
See the Edison band on the far side of the field. I'll tell you what, they sound like they're right on top of us.
I'm wondering why we're picking them up, so I think it's the microphones there.
Could be.
Yeah.
So we have a 3rd and a short one, we'll call it. Ball is resting on about the 31-yard line. A lot of room right up the middle if they want. Pleasant, let's see.
I don't think so, Jim.
I don't think he got it. Boy, there was so much room in the middle.
That's number 70 on the tackle there. That's Jim Luongo.
Pleasant stopped short of the first down.
And the Bears will go for it, Jim, of course.
I'm not sure how Edison's going to line up this time. And Phil, I have to tell you, right in the middle, if Cosentino had called his audible on the quarterback sneak,
he would have had it
easily. And you can see the gap there right in the middle. I mean, he has so much room, it's not even funny.
And he takes it this time.
And takes advantage of it. And gets the first down with plenty to spare. Minute 48 left to go in the 3rd quarter. East Brunswick up 31-24. They were down 17-8 at halftime. Came back with 3 touchdowns. Edison just scored on a kickoff return, and now East Brunswick has the ball back, and they are marching.
And I tell you, got to give Matt Zukas a lot of credit, going both ways, Jim. And he has this spearhead that charge off the offensive line against the clearly larger Eagles.
All right, King comes in now, Pleasant out. You have to wonder if East Brunswick's going to resort to that pass play that's been so successful.
They're spread out, but I think they're going to run it, Jim.
Okay. Poor line. King are the receivers to the right. Cosentino gives to Hurley up the middle. He dances.
Wow.
He's ahead of the field.
Wow.
And they're not going to catch him.
Oh, yes they did.
Are. Wow.
And that's Brownlee on the shoestring tackle there.
Chris Hurley almost getting into the end zone.
I'll tell you, appeared to be gone, and Brownlee just reaching out, tripping him up by a shoestring.
Phil, you know what's more evident to me now is the speed of Pleasant and Hurley.
Well,
it's really becoming a factor.
Hurley is the fastest guy on this team, and Pleasant can't be far behind. Tommy McCluskey is in that group as well as far as speed, but this team has a lot of speed, Jim.
They advance the ball all the way to the 1 yard line. And at this point, all East Brunswick wants to do is not screw it up. Costantino gives to Hurley, bounces off, and he's not in.
He's slammed back again, once again. Big number 70.
Yeah, he was the one on that one.
I'll tell you, Jim Luongo once again making the tackle.
So we will call it no gain on that play. 2nd and goal.
I'll tell you, they have their choice here, Jim.
They sure do.
Any number of their backs can take this in.
Costantino gives it off, and I believe they're in.
Yes, they are. Let's see.
I think it's Hurley. Hurley, who was just denied that touchdown before, gets in the end zone this time.
And I'll tell you, Jim, the Bears have shown a lot of overall team speed. And I'll tell you, you look at the crowd, and they seem to be sitting on their hands. They should be going crazy about now.
Really, just a fine effort by East Brunswick right here. Hurley with the touchdown makes it 37-24. Justin Hill in for the extra point. And the touchdown coming with just 14 seconds left in the third quarter, a third quarter of scoring. Hill puts it through and makes it 38-24. And for some reason, I have a feeling that we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. An awful lot of scoring again. I don't remember the last time 38 points for the Bears.
I don't remember the last time East Brunswick registered 28 points in a quarter. That's for sure. Or actually, it's 29 points when you think about the 2 points that they got on that one touchdown. Nonetheless, East Brunswick back out to a comfortable lead, 38-24. Just 14 seconds left to go.
And I'll tell you, if you look at the huddle there, you see Marcus Borden looking at his kicker, Justin Hill, telling him, don't kick that ball to Hawthorne. Try to kick that ball away from Hawthorne no matter where he is. And the big problem if Hawthorne should break the line is that Justin is injured. He's not going to catch him. He has a very sore ankle. So if he's the last man back there,
all right,
they don't stand much of a chance. But
they got to kick it away from Hawthorne.
Well, they're standing pretty close together, so the Eagles have figured this out.
Perhaps the best thing is just to kick it into the dead zone there. There's a lot of open field.
That's what Marcus has asked for, I'm sure.
And that's exactly where it goes. I wonder if he kicks it out of bounds.
And they'll take it right there.
Right. Well, actually, go out to the 35 if I'm not mistaken, right? Or the 40-yard line.
Or they have the option.
And the way it looks, they're going to probably take the ball.
Yeah, they decided we don't want Hawthorne with that ball. Might have been a little too careful there, but better than a.
So the Eagles will get the ball. I believe they are going to start at the 40.
And Borden talking to Justin Noun saying, listen, I told you not to kick it to him, but you had an open zone there. Kick it further down.
All right. Well, there's a lot of conversation going on right now. Officials deciding where to place the ball. And it goes to the 35. I thought it. Oh, what do we got here now? Well, they
have the option to take it
illegal procedure. Okay. All right, Edison will take over. 14 seconds left to go in the third quarter. They're down 38-24 to a rejuvenated East Brunswick team. Bob Brownlee will give the ball to Hawthorne, who slants to the left, gets he gets actually good yards. And that appears to be the last play of the third quarter. And that is it. We had a short Horn ending the third quarter, but East Brunswick 38-24, Phil.
I'll tell you, an exciting game.
It really is. And you know what else is going to be exciting this year is the fact that the playoff format has been somewhat changed. And, of course, Marcus Borden, the East Brunswick coach, has been a major proponent in the proposal for changing. You know that,
initiating it, you're right.
exactly. What it used to be was that only 4 teams would be eligible for the playoffs. And essentially, if you had more than 1 loss, you were pretty much out of it because you figure you're drawing teams from not only the Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division for Central Jersey Group 4, but also from the Shore Conference.
Right.
You're talking about the Colonial Conference in Mercer County. You're talking about the Skyline Conference in Somerset and Hunterdon counties. Lots of teams.
I'll tell you, right, and it should be exciting. There are no gray areas here, though, Jim. If coaches either like it or don't like it. I've never seen nobody right in the middle who says, I'll take it or leave it. They either hate it or they love it.
Well, it's going to tack on an extra week to the season, but essentially 8 teams now, the top 8 teams, based on the same PowerPoint system, will be in the playoffs, and that makes it a little bit more interesting for a lot more teams.
Okay, I think we're going to see more of Mr. Brownlee's arm, Jim.
Okay, we will watch. Brownlee with a 2nd and 5 on his own 40-yard line. Keeps it himself. You're right, he's got some room. And driven out of bounds by King.
Rob King on the tackle.
And they get a first down on the play.
But Brownlee ran that one, but I got to believe he's going to be putting it up a little bit.
Well, he has had some great success with his primary receiver that has been number 85, Lithgow. Is connected on 2 long pass plays, both setting up touchdowns. So with another first down, ball is just short of midfield on 49. Give is to a new face there, number 21. Haven't seen him. Oh, that's Matos. He's been on the kick return.
Right, Raphael Matos picking up good yardage there. Five yards to be exact.
Matos goes off the field. He's replaced by Cremarte. And Hawthorne is not in the game, Phil, for some reason.
David Farrar coming in as Tom Zold comes out.
Brownlee back to pass. He's looking for Lithgow.
Wow, what happened there, Jim? He went back to throw the ball, and his own man coming around happened to hit his hand.
That was a live ball, was it not?
A live ball. They're lucky to recover it.
Okay, so it's a fumble in essence and a loss on the play. And they're going to mark. Well, actually, they're bringing it back to the line of scrimmage.
They're calling it a pass?
They're calling it a pass.
Wow. That would have mean his arm would have had to be coming forward, which it didn't appear to be.
The incomplete pass bringing up a 3rd down. They were going for Lithgow.
Brownlee was going to show his arm, that's for sure.
However, Hurley was right with him on that play.
Okay, they'll come back, I imagine, with the...
Now Hawthorne is back in the game for Edison. Give is to Allen on this side. Gets a lot of room and gets a block from number 85, Lithgow. And all the way down, we got a flag now, too.
I think that's a marker, Jim.
Is that what that is?
I think that's just a marker.
Okay.
You got Mike Allen on a counter coming right up the middle, the big fullback picking up good yardage, tackled by Hurley.
That was a nice play by Edison. Brings the ball down to the 15-yard line. They will have yet another first down.
You got to wonder if Hawthorne's worn out. They used him as a decoy that time.
Yeah. 10:45 left to go in the 4th quarter. East Brunswick up 38-24, but Edison knocking on the door once more. Brownlee set the pass, looks down the pipe, and finds his receiver. Who was that? Number 34. That is, Joe Margaritondo?
You did a good job. Margaritondo.
I hope I haven't hatched it. Anyway, another first down for the Eagles.
Okay, I said they'd start seeing his arm.
They're down to the 3-yard line.
All right, they'll go back to Mr. Hawthorne right here.
Brownlee gives to Hawthorne, and he stopped short, though. Pleasant was the first one that reached him.
Pleasant coming up, and Corio as well. Or McCluskey.
Boy, if anybody left at halftime of this game thinking it was over, wow, they missed a lot of football.
A lot of scoring.
Brownlee to Hawthorne once more. No, I'm sorry.
Brownlee.
It was
on the fake.
a fake. Brownlee got me that time.
Well, they've been using Hawthorne a lot as a decoy, lately.
And Hawthorne is getting up very slowly, and he's limping too.
The thing is, he didn't get the ball, but he got slammed nevertheless, Jim.
Which is what you try to do in that situation. However, the score by Brownlee makes it 38-30. A 3-yard touchdown, well, actually a 1-yard touchdown run. There's the kick, and it is good. So now we have a 38-31 game.
I'll tell you, 68 points scored in this game, Jim, and we got 9.5 minutes left yet.
And as we have found out, that's a heck of a lot of time. No way, shape, or form can East Brunswick rest on this lead.
Well, neither team has given up offensively anyway. They keep coming at you.
You betcha. Now, once again, we have to wonder exactly how Edison is going to kick the ball.
Well, kickoff returns for both teams have been an adventure, what they're going to do. And here we go once again. And you got to believe that they'll do what they did last time, try to squib kick it.
Well, I maintain that they need to kick the ball as far and as deep as they possibly can and make East Brunswick go a long distance.
You got to remember they tried that once tonight, and Brad Pleasant ran it all the way back.
Okay. And as we have seen, Hurley and Pleasant are the deep backs for the Bears. Bertha kicking off.
Okay.
And here we go. It's a squibber. It's picked up on a bounce by Hurley up the middle, and he is surrounded by a number of tacklers.
Jeez.
And the ball will be marked on about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the East Brunswick Bears with 9:30 left to go in this game.
Okay, and the Bears up by 7, which not a safe 7, which means the Bears got to try to control this ball. I think eat some time off the clock and try to score again.
And should we remind you that if this ends in a tie, we go to overtime, even during the regular season. Borden was a proponent of that as well. Okay. Casentino keeps, goes to the left. Nice block right there.
I'll tell you, Horline with a great block.
2 nice blocks.
Oh, the official tripped him.
Into the official.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that in a long time, Jim.
And not a thing you can do about it,
I'll tell you, and Cosentino gets up and he's not happy about it, but he had nothing but open field there. Justin Horline with a great block on the left-hand side, Jim.
And there was another block before that sprung loose, Cosentino. A big chunk of yards for him, however.
But the official was part of the field, and if you trip over the official, that's it.
All right, and official does have a responsibility to try to get out of the way.
Well, I think he was trying, Jim.
First down for East Brunswick. They are again in Edison's territory. Ryan Cosentino, the East Brunswick quarterback, gives to Brad Pleasant, who looks for some room. Struggles for about a yard.
Gets swarmed on the ball, came loose, but the whistle had been blown.
They will mark the ball at about the 47-yard line. 2nd and 8. Clock continues to run. We're now down to 8:25. Bill, I got to tell you, this has been a lot of fun. It's refreshing to call a game where it's extremely competitive.
That's right.
A lot of action.
Both sides.
Almost a trips to the left there. Not quite, however. Costantino sets his backs. Zukas under center. Give us to Pleasant.
Boom.
Driven back.
I'll tell you.
And I think there was a fumble on that.
Wow, Dwayne Wilson on the hit, number 30 with the big hit there. A number of big hits all game, and he comes up with perhaps his biggest hit of the game, and you're right. The Eagles have recovered the fumble.
I'm not quite sure Pleasant even had a handle on that, the way it looked. He bounced off, and I think the ball was lodged from him. And Edison does take over. They have the turnover. They're on their own 46. In position, however, to try to notch a score.
I'll tell you, Hawthorne's not in that backfield, though, Jim.
You're right. He limped off the field after that last play.
I think he's worn out. Plus, when they used him as a decoy there, he got slammed by the East Brunswick defense anyway.
Right. So the backs are Meadows and Allen. You've got Bertha on the right side as a wide receiver. The give is to
Allen.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, good job by the defensive front there.
And this is going to get down to who wants it most, really.
I'll tell you,
I think the lines are going to play a big part in this.
Zuka's coming in to make that tackle.
Maybe a yard gain on that play. Second and 9 for Edison. Bertha is the wide receiver, lone receiver to the right. Brownlee back. He doesn't see number 25.
I'll tell you, Tommy Corio blowing in there from his outside linebacker slot.
And I'll tell you what, it was one of the few times that East Brunswick has caught a receiver, or rather Brownlee in the backfield, but it was an important one.
They got him from the blind side there, Jim, and big play by Corio.
Loss of 8 on the play, making it 3rd and 18. And if ever East Brunswick wants to stop Edison, it is now.
And it appeared that Brownlee was looking to pass.
He will be looking to pass now. 3rd and long, 18 yards to go.
Watch out for Lithgow.
Actually, Allen's the one on this slant, but no, he gets away. Bounces off another tackler. And he brings the ball up to about the 48-yard line. They still have, about 10 yards to go. Good yardage on that.
I'll tell you, surprise call there.
Yeah. Well.
So we'll
say 4th and about 7, really.
I'll tell you.
Not a lot. What do you do in this situation?
They appear to be going for it.
And that they will.
I'll tell you, surprise here.
4th and 7 for Edison. They're at just about midfield. Brownlee will call signal. The ball is to Allen. He has room, however, he is stopped.
Pat
37.
Pat Wash on the tackle, and Zukas on the bottom.
And what an opportune time to make a big tackle. Stops Edison. They get the ball back with 5:30 left to go in the game, holding a 38-31 lead.
I'll tell you, the linebackers did a fine job there. Zukas and Batwash stopping the big fullback. I was sort of surprised, Jim.
In what respect? That they ran the ball?
That the Eagles even went for it there.
Well, the surprise element for Edison's passing game has been when East Brunswick has not been expecting it. They've done a rather good job of keeping the ball, from being caught in other situations. Nonetheless, they take over. Costantino.
Okay, the Bears have to take care of the ball, Jim.
Right. They turned it over the last time they had it. And Pleasant.
Boom, man, he's slammed
to the ground.
I'll tell you.
I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And that was Greg Morgan on the tackle there. He slammed Pleasant to the ground. Number 43.
Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, making it 2nd and 9. Clock is going to become a factor here shortly. We're under 5 minutes, 4:57 to go. East Brunswick at midfield. They hold on to a 38-31 lead. This is Costantino, keeps it himself, goes up the middle. He's got room again and gets another first down.
I'll tell you, fine run by Costantino.
It has been the running primarily of Ryan Costantino that has given East Brunswick a big spark here tonight.
And Felipe Fernandez coming up to put the stop on Costantino, number 35.
Gain of 13 on the play, a first down for East Brunswick down to the 38-yard line. Clock continues to run, 4:25 remaining in the game. Costantino, handoff to Mullane, cuts through the middle, nice move.
He's gone. He could go all the way. John Mullane with a super run.
That was a super run, and I'll tell you what really made it happen was the juke to the left behind the line of scrimmage, and he had a clear sailing right from there.
And I don't know if that's Johnny Mullane's first varsity touchdown, but it's certainly going to be a memorable one. A fine run by John Mullane, and once again, good blocking by that offensive line.
38-yard touchdown run for Mullane, makes the score 44-31. 44 points,
I'll tell you got to go back to the books.
Really? Let's just take the point total. Gosh, we already got 75 points scored here. East Brunswick will go for the extra point. Justin Hill, who has had he's had a lot of points after tonight with all the touchdowns that have been scored. He's down, and
no good.
He chipped it to the right that time.
I thought it might have been tipped a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so the score is 44-31. 3:58 left to go in the game. East Brunswick back out to a seemingly comfortable lead here.
Well, I'll tell you what the Bears have shown tonight, Jim, is just tremendous balance. All their backs have done a fine job of running the ball. The offensive line has done an outstanding job. Costantino, what can you say? Passing and running the ball has done a super job. The receivers, Teddy Nemec, showing good hands. Chris Hurley as well.
Yeah, they put it all together.
They put it together offensively.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to look at anything where the Bears want to improve more, it's in their defense, giving up 31 points. Remember, Edison didn't score last week against Saraville. So they will look to shore up their defensive game. But all in all, Phil, I have to say that the defense has really come through nicely as well.
Well,
it's had to.
Well, when they had to. They've been tough considering the way the Eagles came out.
Hill lines it up on the 40-yard line. He will kick off to Matt. I'm sorry, is Hawthorne in there? Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is.
He's limping around, but he's back there. And he is with the ball. Heads up the middle. Now he cuts to the outside.
There he goes.
He's got room.
And just pushed out.
Right.
And that's Teddy Nemec, I believe, that just pushed him out. But again, Hawthorne limping and all was about to turn that corner again.
And a good thing Nemec pushed him out because he was off to the races. So Edison once again will try to see if they can put some points on the board, make this game interesting. Bob Brownlee, who has done a fine job at quarterback tonight for the Eagles, will take the center snap, and he will drop back to pass. Being pressured, throws a screen to Hawthorne, but a nice tackle there, Phil. Looks like Batwash.
That's Batwash. Again, the pressure, however, being put on by Corsell.
And that was a good defensive play. Now, I think we have a flag here. Let's see. Yes, there is a penalty on the play. They are talking to East Brunswick.
And Borden is saying push him back. Chris Corsell putting the pressure on Brownlee.
It is a clip.
And Batwash coming up with the tackle. Clip, and it will be pushed back.
That'll advance, excuse me, the ball will be placed on about the 31-yard line. And Edison will have a first down once more, but they will have to go about 23 yards. The foul was marked off from where it occurred, and so it's about 13 yards behind the original line of scrimmage. First down and 23 to go. Clock is running again. 3:15 left to go in the game. Brownlee gives a quick opener here right up the middle. Can't understand that play.
You got to make them sort of respect you, but you got to be putting the ball up in the air right now regardless.
Exactly. If nothing else, that play is going to cause the clock to run and waste a lot of valuable time now. Perhaps a gain of 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 20. Brownlee will drop back to pass. He's looking deep. Throws one down the field. It's tipped, but still caught. Gathered in by number 86.
And Pleasant making a tackle. I don't know who tipped that ball.
Williams was the pass catcher on that. Not a first down. They still have about 4 to go.
That's official time while the Bear player adjusts his helmet.
3rd and 4 here. They have to get the first down. Brownlee has got time. Down the middle, and no, it looks like it was dropped.
I'll tell you, 2 receivers there, strange.
Well, Hawthorne was there, and
2 receivers in the very same spot.
Margarotondo was the other intended receiver on that. So it'll make it 4th down now, Phil. They have to make this first down, or this game is essentially over. 1:57 left to go. East Brunswick 44, yes, 44, and Edison 31. Brownlee passes, and it's not caught.
And that's the game.
By Lithgow, and East Brunswick holds. So they will probably be very conservative here, just trying to run out the clock. Crowd sensing the game is over starts to leave.
Starting to file out. Not too active a crowd again, Jim.
Apparently not intending to participate in the celebration.
But I tell you, I guess a lot we can say about this game, Jim. The thing is, first of all, the win by the Bears, a much-needed win. They've matched the number of wins that they've had all of last year.
And that's something to build on, of course. Now, who do we have on that handoff there? That looks like a new face.
That's Mullane, I believe.
Is it? All right, Edison looks to be calling its timeouts now. I don't know if they've used any in this half.
But as I was saying, Jim, a good win for the Bears. The thing is, they got a lot of players involved in the game, which always bids well for your team. Costantino has performed like
the
we
player
know
we
he
thought
could.
he would be.
Exactly,
right.
exactly. And,
would you agree that this is his best performance as a quarterback? I mean, we saw him last year. I don't think he really got untracked the way he wanted to. This was really Ryan Costantino.
He may have had some guttier performances without doing as much, but he's done a little bit of everything today here. Spread it out, and as I said, the team itself, offensively, has looked pretty sharp here. But they can build on this.
Exactly, and I think a lot can be said about that tandem of running backs of Brad Pleasant, Chris Hurley, and Joe Mullane. Well, I'll tell you what, they are quick.
They all got speed, Jim, and any of them can break the big one, and should make for an exciting season.
And let's give credit to that offensive and defensive line. They've done a nice job as well. Mullane picked up 4 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 6. Edison having used 1 timeout. I believe they have 2 left. Costantino gives off.
And they're trying to eat up that clock right now, and Edison calls timeout again.
Right. I think they have one left. Lane was the carrier.
And Big Bachorik coming in off the bottom of the line on that tackle.
Phil, we should mention that next week the Bears will be home to J.P. Stevens.
And the Eagles don't get it any easier. They have Piscataway.
All right.
J.P. Stevens should be interesting. These are two teams who don't like each other, Jim.
Well, it's always been a rivalry.
Well, not only that, I just don't like to say that. From the Rutgers shootout, these are two teams that had a very spirited challenge against each other and a little mouthing and so forth. But they're going to remember that. Each of the teams are going to remember that when they get out here next week, and it should prove to be
and I think East Brunswick will also remember that Stevens pasted a 62-14 win over them last year. The ball carrier is Mullane, and I think he has enough for the first down. Yes, it is.
And coming up for that tackle was Brownlee.
I think East Brunswick now will just continue to play conservative. They will not look to register any more points.
Well, they're going to run the ball, Jim, and if one pops, it pops.
That's true. That's what will happen. Clock continues to run, 1:10 remaining in this contest. It is 44-31 East Brunswick. A lot of points being scored in the second half. Costantino keeps it himself.
As I said, Jim, they're going to run the ball.
Back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think I might be handing off to my backs regardless.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I mean, Costantino is
all right,
your
now
leader here. And,
he's got the signal from Borden to start to take a knee now. This probably is going to be the last play of the game. .30 seconds left. East Brunswick needs to run just one more play, and they will have earned their first victory of this 1998 season. That is it. 17 seconds left to go, and that'll do it. East Brunswick with the 44-31 victory, Phil. First of the year.
First of the year, and I tell you, the Bears showed some resilience. You had Edison Eagles jumping out here to a 10-0 lead.
It was 17-8 at halftime.
That's right, and the Bears came back. They came out at halftime with some enthusiasm and played a super second half there. As you see the young fellows shaking hands in the spirit of good sportsmanship, it was an exciting game.
It was, and for East Brunswick now brings their record to 1-1 as they prepare for another home contest here at J. Doyle Field as J.P. Stevens comes knocking. And again, last year the Hawks administered a 62-14 whipping on East Brunswick when the Bears paid a visit over there, and there will be some revenge.
Well, I don't know about revenge. I think they just want to play well. This is a different team.
Right.
And what they want, sometimes that revenge factor works against you. What you want to do is get out there and execute and play as well as you can. They have some bodies here that like to play football, and they may be thinking a little bit about that.
Well, okay, if we time allowed it, and if Pete Catamessa, our producer, was kind, I'd go over the scoring, but it's going to take too long. So we'll just say goodnight from J. Doyle Field. The final score, East Brunswick 44 and Edison 31. For Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.